I believe we have a special guest with us. He's the world number 2, and he will explain all the complexity of that game against Alexander Grischuk.
Thank you, Anna. Fabi, thank you for joining us. Well, since we've just come from the Wang Hao endgame, did you have a look at it? And what do you think are Levon's winning chances?
I don't really know, but I thought one of Black's ideas was to play g5. Like after rook b8, there's g5, and then rook g6, rook g5. I mean, it's at least, I thought, a defensive idea for Black, but might not be good. But yeah, I didn't really have a look at them.
You had a crazy game yourself. Before we go to that, we had Robert Hess here earlier. You and him went, you had told us if the weather is nice, you would do some sightseeing. You got lucky. How was yesterday?
Oh, it was nice. We saw a castle, Peel Castle, yeah. And then we kind of hiked up the hill, which was not very big, so it didn't take too long. We were probably out for a few hours. And saw the Joker movie. So,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't know about that.
So there wasn't much.
Was it any good? Recommended?
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. There wasn't much time to prepare after all that.
Well, the game, I didn't even know where to start because it was such a crazy game. So maybe you can pinpoint some of the highlights.
Yeah, he played a rare idea, which I was familiar, kind of familiar with it. I mean, I knew that it was a possibility, but I didn't really remember how Black has so many ways to set up the pieces. And I could also play dc4, e4, and knight a6 or something. But I didn't really want to allow him that. And what I did looked natural. He played, I think, a good move, g4. I don't see any other ideas for him because he has to create something. If I get like bishop e6, knight e7, I have a good position. And then we got a crazy position. Which I wasn't sure what was going on, but I didn't feel like my position was bad.
Yeah, we actually, for once, I realized the evaluation bar is on. How did you evaluate?
I thought my position wasn't so bad, yeah. I mean, I see the engine is showing that I'm in serious trouble, but I don't know why it would be so bad for me. Like, I mean, bishop f4 was very surprising. I was expecting either rook f4 or queen f3, but this, I mean, yeah, it gives a pawn for compensation, but f5 I thought was important, and now I stopped knight e4, and my king is actually pretty safe. I mean, he does have the 2 bishops and a strong center, but I wasn't overly worried. I thought b3 was a very bad move. I mean, I was expecting queen e2, and I was just going to sack the pawn, because if I try to defend it, he goes here, and then d5, and I didn't like this. But after b3, I was very surprised, because I thought I'm just better suddenly. I mean, like, his knight on c3 is now loose, and rook d8, d4 is hanging. It felt like he just gave me a free tempo. And yes, I mean, we got this ending.
Yeah, things got.
I mean, I thought that I was like very, very close to winning here, but I didn't really see what to do.
Well, if you want to see the lines, you can click the lines.
I mean,
you don't care. You'll check it later.
But I think he defended well, because it's like one move away from losing for white. If I just get my knight to e6, or, I mean, like, tactically things are just kind of not working out for me, which is surprising. Like knight b3, I thought, okay, I trap his rook, and if rook c4, then I have time to play knight f8.
Maybe I'll turn off the lines again to make the analysis more human.
But then he has like rook f3, so my knight's trapped. And then he takes, and I won the exchange, but then he has so much compensation. He's taking c6, my double day pawns are meaningless, and my knight is out of the game. And yeah, then I was kind of proud to find this king g7 idea. But I'd underestimated h5, and I just missed when I played b5 here, I missed a crucial thing.
Also, both of you were in time trouble. Grischuk is a famous time trouble addict. I think for you, it's maybe one of your first sort of time troubles in this tournament. How did it feel?
Yeah, it's like the first. It didn't feel like very serious time trouble, because my position is safe. Like, I wasn't risking, but I didn't really have time to find the right way to play. So yeah, he did outplay me in time trouble, which is. I mean, the thing about Sasha is that he does get low on time, but his quality of play doesn't really drop that much. I mean, of course, he doesn't play.
Would you say the strongest player in the world in time trouble?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I just don't. I don't really have. I don't really know. I mean, the thing is, of course, his quality of play does drop. It's not like he plays as well with no time as with a lot of time, but he doesn't make drastic blunders or drastic mistakes.
Probably the player, maybe not the best, but the one who's most used to.
Yeah, of course, he has a lot of experience, and yeah, I mean, I missed that this knight b5 move. It's kind of obvious, but I missed that after knight e6, hg6, rook b7. I thought things are hanging, but then knight d6, and okay, it's going to be a draw. And in the game, yeah, I mean, I have no right to continue here because if I'm making any move besides king g7, I thought that it will start to get dangerous for me.
So an up and down game. How what's your impression? Are you happy with how it went, or do you feel like some missed chances?
I mean, overall, it's good. You know, I thought a draw would be a good result before the game, but of course, considering I had a good position, it feels a bit disappointing. But he might have also had a serious advantage at some point during the game, so I guess I can't say that I was the only one with chances.
A different question completely. This is our daily question. If you could bring back one player from the past and giving him access to modern theory and at the peak of his form, who would you like? Who is the one player you would like to see compete in this tournament?
Well, I saw Pet Sematary and I read the book too, and I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, you know, you bring back a player and he turns out to be not quite the same. Yeah, well, if I had to, I would actually be curious about how Fischer would fare.
Fischer, who was the winning candidate from our poll, the overwhelming favorite who people wanted.
I guess it's an obvious choice. I mean, he was so dominant for a very short period of time before he stopped playing. So I'd be curious if he would be able to play, if he would become world champion again to start with, and also if he would be let's say, a consistent top player in the world.
Yeah, it would be very interesting. Unfortunately, we will never find out. Fabi, thank you very much for your time and your thoughts. And back to you guys.